Hi guys, back again. Gonna go and give you a few updates real quick before I head out for the weekend. First of all, what we've got here in the create background panel that I was showing you off last week. Essentially, I just added a lot of stability to this. It'll give you some error messages, say if you're missing an image here or your number of backgrounds doesn't match the number of backgrounds here, etc. So it's a little more robust, so it'll be a little harder to screw up for someone. So once again, we click Create Page, and that's generating these background images over here. I added quite a bit of control here. So now in your master for your background images, you can come on over here to the inspector panel, and here are some controls for sort of setting up your maximum parallax. What this does here is 20 is the amount of parallax, 5 is the amount of difference between each individual layer that it will parallax, and the smoothing is for if the camera actually changes direction. You can kind of build in a little bit of smoothing back and forth there so it's not so jerky. In the final version here, I'll have these all set up as little sliders you can move back and forth because these numbers don't really mean much, I realize, but that's nice. You got a lot of added control here. And then additionally, I added some parallaxing controls over here on the individual image layers. So in our example, let's go ahead and shrink our ogre down and get him out of the way. If you just kind of leave it as the default, it's only setting the parallax based off of the rendering layer or the sorting order of the rendering layer. So in other words, each of these individual layers would move about the same amount. And that might not make sense all the time. So say this background layer here, we're in the very back, these little mountains here, you might want to just barely parallax at all. All right? So what that does is this parallax reduction factor, you can come in and manipulate that. And so then you can just sort of fine tune the scene to however you like. And once again, this interface here is a little rough. The final version will be a lot smoother, but I added yet another feature here for the objects in the background. So not all of them are going to be just plain background. Like, so say here in our example, this dragon moves independently of the camera. So you want him to sort of fly across the screen. So what you can do now is you can come over and click on a moving object, and then you set its initial position just by dragging around, and then click Set Object Start Point. You can see it's updating its coordinates here. We go ahead and move it across. We hit Set Endpoint. So now it has the trajectory to move across. You can also set its speed, etc. They're not actually moving right this second. I just have to drop some code in real fast. That'll be a 5-minute fix or so to get that functioning. But yeah, then it'll just kind of zoom across the sky. And let's see, what else do we have here? Probably the biggest update I did was for the camera controls. So now we can go in, if we're in our scene view, and you can see you have your camera object here. So sort of similar to the object I just showed you for moving. You move it around, you set camera start point, you move it again to where you think you want to end, you set camera end point, and if you look in the game view here, you can kind of get a sense for it. I found that when I was building the demo scene for you guys, I just wanted to mostly move in between the start and end points, and that gave you a very good sense of how the scene was going to flow. So I also built in some buttons so we can automatically move to start point, and you get an idea how the scene looks. Move to end point, you get an idea what it looks like at the end. So if we go and hit play, then we can go ahead and see it in motion once again. And of course, this will fill the whole screen in the final version, whatever, but I think you get the idea. That's about it. Next week we'll be basically making these things a little more robust, a little better error handling, and a little smoother interface, little sliders, little buttons, so it's a little more intuitive. Then it'll be moving on to text objects and things. We start dropping some text in, and then UI, so we can start adding the options, and that'll kind of lead to our overall game logic. But anyway, that's about it, and you guys have a great weekend, and I should be back Sunday evening-ish if you have any questions, and if not, I will definitely be ready to rock on Monday. Bye.